I have actually done in a way I've done all kinds of genres, and I have some of the ones I've picked today do have more animation. So, but okay, well we'll kick off with the first few, and maybe at half time I'll say a bit more or something.
Yeah, that would be great. Actually, before you start, do you want to say, just for 2 minutes, do you want to say a little bit about your work and your context and so on, just so we...
Well, I mean, so much of how one starts off is how one's educated, and I hit sort of art schools in the late 70s, and punk was going on, and in a way London was seemingly falling apart. There was huge strikes and rubbish in Soho Square, but there was an incredible sort of sense of, all those kind of ideas of the hippies had just crashed and things weren't working. So it was a bit of a depressing age, and at St Martin's there were two kinds of sculpture. There were all these people in the basement welding sculpture. It was a bit like a Russian film of shipbuilding every time we went down there, and I didn't want anything to do with that. And then upstairs there were all the aesthete, well-dressed kind of conceptual artists. Well, the crew I was with were, and we did do a lot of interesting things, but it was sad in a way because the whole ethos at that time was people had lost the nerve to produce. There was a sense in which what was the point? In fact, people would often say in crits, what right have you got to speak? And it's very difficult to answer that kind of question. So there was an amazing amount of doubt going on. And then in the night, people sort of forget this, but you could hang out quite late around town. There were various clubs that didn't mind you staying in to a long time. So Soho was thriving in that sense, but there were often big marches came through, feminist marches through Soho. So there's a lot of tension, people hovering around customers. And so St Martin's was situated right on the sort of doorstep of it all. So you had the sort of seedy blokes and politicised women kind of clashing from all the art schools and things. So it was very good. I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm just trying to paint you a picture. But I suppose my first thought was how I started was that it was bad to be heroic or to make big manoeuvres. So I started using other people's footage, and the idea was that one would take boring footage. I wasn't taking classics like Fellini, I was taking gardening shows, just tedious things, and trying to put a really good art school stamp on them. And in some ways tire the detritus of culture and just make it interesting again. So that was, I think that'll be enough. So that theme has kind of continued. I do like sort of ordinary, seemingly boring scenarios that go downhill.
Okay.